Hey guys, Zach here, and I just wanted to take a short bit to talk about some common mistakes that I see in worship mixes and how you can help your mix be better by avoiding these. So the first one that I see a lot of times is that the overall level of the mix is not high enough to allow the bass guitar to feel present and full. And I think a lot of times this level is approximately 85 to 90 dB. This is common in smaller churches, but you once you cross that 90 dB threshold, it's going to be a lot easier to bring the bass up to a point where it feels full, but the mix is still balanced. So that's number one. Number two, not being able to hear the electric guitars well enough. So especially lead guitar, I've heard a lot of mixes where the electric guitar looks like they're playing a lot of cool stuff and you just can't hear it. And the reality is that electric guitar oftentimes operates as the flavor of the team. It's like in a lot of ways, if you have a cake, the electric guitar is like the icing. I mean, you can eat the cake without the icing, but it's not going to taste quite right. It's not going to have the balance that if a cake with frosting would have. So having the electric guitar be up in the mix where you can clearly pick out the lead part is critical. Another common mistake that I hear is, typically the lead vocal is out front enough, but not having the harmony vocals up enough or not actively mixing to help blend them. The ideal is that harmony vocals are doing the blending themselves, but as a sound guy, there are things that we can do to actively help the balance, help the blend, so that they're not buried in the mix. These are things, for example, as we're building up dynamically, we can just nudge the faders a little bit to just help it climb, help it grow in intensity. Things like this that we can do to really help our team achieve the vision of our congregations worshiping and worshiping Jesus through the songs that we're leading. And then we'll do one more. This is kind of more for pianists, but I'm including this for sound guys specifically because I see a lot of piano players chunking chords when in reality a lot of times the best possible parts are actually lead parts from the piano. And I'm specifically talking octaves or single notes or sixths or things where you're just playing with your right hand, things that allow you to add to the song but not be creating this wall of sound. And this can be true for acoustic guitars as well. The idea is that less is more, and sometimes as a sound guy we need to speak up and say, hey, this is feeling kind of wall of soundish. If some of us can play less and create priority for whatever instrument needs to have the priority, many times this is the countermelody instrument, then then the mix functions a lot better. And then we'll do one more. So the fifth and final one I will talk about is acoustic guitar being too quiet while fingerpicking or while the acoustic guitar is alone. This can be really dangerous because if I am intending to fingerpick a song and it's going to be quieter, I need the sound guy to pull up the acoustic guitar to the point where it feels like the mix is still full, even with one instrument going. Maybe there's just a pad and acoustic guitar, but I still want it to have a fullness even if it's quiet. Does that make sense? There's a difference between full and empty and loud and quiet. We typically want the mix to feel, have a sense of presence, a sense of fullness, even when there's not a lot going on. There's some exceptions to this, but we want to make sure when it's quiet that we're pulling up instruments to make sure it's staying at a level where it's not going to feel awkward. What the heck? Let's do one more. So sixth, and so this is for real the final one, cymbals not up high enough in the mix. So I see this all the time with drum mixes where especially washing the ride is not up loud enough. And the reason it's important is that washing the ride is going to create sort of this shimmering energy that helps fill in the awkward gaps in the mix. And this is why I encourage you to make sure that the cymbals are at least present so that you don't have that awkward space in the mix. So those are the 6 things. Just keep extending this video over and over, and hope that's helpful. If you like this video, like and subscribe, share it with your team. I hope it's helpful for you.